episode is brought to you by Premental.
In my 40s now, I'm very clear about what I want to do. I'm very clear about how I want to do it. And I know how to say no. I know my worth. And my great hope is to just empower all women to know their worth and to be confident in saying no and say yes to yourself.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Thriving in Menopause, brought to you by Prevention Australia. I'm Zoe Meunier, the editor of Prevention, and I'm joined today by one of Australia's most refreshingly honest and hilarious voices. And we can hear her already.
I know, I'm sorry, keep going.
It's Em Rusciano. You probably know Em as a comedian, writer, radio host and performer, but she's also become a powerful advocate for women's health, mental health and neurodiversity. Her new memoir, Blood, Sweat and Glitter, is raw, funny and incredibly moving. A deep dive into midlife, motherhood and menopause, told with the unfiltered honesty only Em can deliver. Em, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thriving in menopause sounds like a nice destination I hope to reach at some point.
Don't we all? Yes. Oh. It's the goal. Okay, so Blood, Sweat and Glitter, such a great book title, by the way. It's a wild, funny and moving ride through midlife. What made you decide to tell this story now?
Because I looked around when I hit a certain point of life and thought, am I the only one feeling like I'm absolutely losing my mind? I didn't have a choice. We all went through so much with the pandemic and we're all trying to live now like it just didn't happen. But it did, and it's really kind of settled into our bones and our DNA, but we're all trying to deny it, and I think it's starting to, just peek out here and there.
Yeah.
But I had the autism diagnosis, ADHD, all the lockdowns. I'm a live performer, so our industry got shut first and came back last. And I wanted to write something I wish I'd had in those moments of uncertainty, the 2 a.m. fetal position crying in bed, the raging, the being a woman of a certain age in the media and being told, you're not relevant anymore. And I think at all those points in my life, I wish I had have had something to turn to give me, this book it's a big love letter to women and AFAB people who feel a bit lost and just need to know what's next rather than 50 million things that are already on our mind. So the book is written for what I needed, and I know so many other people do. And now I know they do need it because I've just been inundated.
Yes, absolutely. They've really come out and approached you because you've been so honest about it. It's great. Now, you've described midlife as a kind of emotional exfoliation. What does that mean for you? Like, what's fallen away in the process for you?
Everything. I feel like I've woken up and seen things for how they truly are. And now having, I recently made a documentary called Rage Against the Vagine, and I spoke to 25 experts because I'm autistic. I need to get to the bottom of things. I need to know everything. I become very curious.
Yes.
And I learned that estrogen is the hormone of servitude and nurturing. And when those levels drop, your desire to do those things and maybe put up with behaviour you shouldn't have but did to keep the peace, your ability to tolerate that crap completely falls away. So it's been, while a total emotional hellscape and scorched earth, it's also been this reckoning that I needed because I was setting myself on fire to keep my family warm. I was overdoing things to try and make everyone else comfortable and neglecting my own needs.
Yep.
And this point in my life, I feel so clear on setting boundaries. I don't care if I piss people off. I don't want to martyr myself anymore. So it's just been this realization of all the things that don't serve me, of all the things that don't point me in the direction of the person I'd like to be. I just let them go. And I'm really grateful for that. And women who are older than me kept promising me that I would get there. And I'm like, I just can't imagine it. But I'm there. And I'm now spreading. I'm still getting periods. I'm still in the throes of the terrible perimenopause. But I do feel like witch M is starting to come through, like witchy M, like she's Stevie Nicks-ing. She's going to go out into the forest and have a vegetable garden and cast spells. Like I'm getting there. Purple-haired M is in the future.
Yeah.
But it has, and I think women get a bit scared by that because nobody tells us, because the patriarchy don't want us to know it's coming and we're going to step into our most powerful phase. Because what do we do to women when we're at our age? We tell them they're no longer worthy.
Yeah, they're invisible.
But we're actually the most powerful and knowledgeable we've ever been. And I feel that, and I want to galvanise all the women of Australia to feel that too, because everybody's stuffed if we really step into our power. And this book is a guide to stepping into your power. But yeah, no, the emotional exfoliation it's been very painful and I'm still in it, but I can see what's going to come out the other side and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's the most painful? Is it how are people or your family, your kids reacting to you setting those boundaries or being that different? Not well.
Because, I mean, my marriage of 25 years has ended and I was no longer the woman he married and I didn't want to be. When people benefit from you having no boundaries, they don't like it when you suddenly have them. It's very inconvenient and it's hard to hold your ground.
Yeah.
When people are looking at you like, hang on, you've done all these things for the last 2 decades. What do you mean you're not doing them anymore? And it's a real test and it's hard to not kind of go back to old ways, but we are seeing a rise in mental health issues for women over 45, a mass exodus from the workplace for women over 45.
Yep.
Families and lives being blown up, problems with addiction, with drinking, ways to cope and numb ourselves. And it's a real health crisis that needs addressing. And if you don't put those boundaries in, we see the ramifications of that. We are seeing that in women our age. So it's really important to anyone listening who is feeling, I woke up and looked at my life and thought, I don't want this anymore. And what's in it for me? And this isn't the role I want to play. I feel like I've been cast in the wrong play. And it's hard. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's a scary realisation.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, your fans love how you've always blended humour and honesty. How important has humour been as you've navigated some of this tougher stuff?
It's a lifeline. I mean, if you don't laugh, you'll cry.
Yeah.
And
sometimes you do both.
Constantly. Dolly Parton said it in Steel Magnolias. It's in my book. Laughter through tears is my favourite emotion. I think for me, shining a light in the dark places and talking about the raw, big, sticky parts of life, it's a bit of a survival for me too. It's kind of workshopping my trauma in an easier way.
Yeah.
And the humour, I guess it's part of being Australian as well, but finding that humour makes it a bit more, it makes the message easier to get out there, but it also gives people a reason and permission to find some lighter stuff in the heaviness of it all, because it is heavy. Like, it's a whole biological rewiring. This is not imparted on women enough. It's not just your reproductive hormones. Estrogen's in your brain, in your heart, in your bones, in your lungs, in your kidneys. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it just goes. And everyone's so casual about it. And that's why my generation of women, the Xennials and the X's, I'm in the middle of Y and X, we have internet connections, we are smart, we are educated, we have full-time jobs. Like, if anyone thought we were going to take perimenopause and menopause sitting down, they were sadly mistaken.
That's it. Although, I mean, gosh, looking back, it feels like it didn't happen until, the last few years, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Now, you've had several incredible career reinventions from a singer and radio host, Australian Idol contestant, one of my favourites, to author, podcast and advocate. So what does reinvention feel like in your 40s compared to your 20s or 30s? Because, I think a lot of women get to this age and they are a bit scared of change.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because we're told to be.
Yeah.
But in reality, we've got all the tools in our toolkit now. We've lived a life. We kind of know what's going on and what people bring and what they don't, and we've got a knowledge base that only comes with living through certain things as a woman. But I don't know. I don't look at it as reinvention. I look at it as evolution. Every phase I've gone through has been this intense period of realization, growth, and pain and understanding. And part of being neurodivergent is I'm not capable of just going, it doesn't matter, I don't want to know. Whatever the opposite of I don't want to know is like my toxic trait. I'm like, I need to know everything. So for me, knowledge is power, because I get really anxious. But if I have all the information, then I don't have to feel anxious. So the evolutions have come through life phases for me. They have, I first started talking about being a young mother, and then, I'm an all singing, all dancing machine, and sometimes Australia struggles with that because they like to put you in a little, well, are you a comedian or are you a writer?
Yeah.
Or are you a singer? Or are you a broadcaster? And I'm like, all of those things.
Yeah.
Why can't I be all of those things? So I am, and I've developed those skills, and part of being ADHD is seeing something once and believing you can master it, which is another thing that I do. I step into situations I have no business being in. But in my 40s now, I'm very clear about what I want to do. I'm very clear about how I want to do it. And I'm no longer just kind of hoping and feeling around in the dark. I'm very deliberate and mindful about the decisions I make. And I know how to say no. I know my worth. And my great hope is to just empower all women to know their worth and to be confident in saying no and say yes to yourself and all the things we read. And I know it sounds all very self-helpy, but that shit works if you step into it and you start valuing yourself first. You are unstoppable and powerful. And 50s and 60s and onwards, like, it only gets better if you allow it. And, it's also society allowing us. But I feel really powerful. Yeah.
That's great. And what have you learned about sort of listening to your gut through that time?
I'm a big advocate for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I always say, I talk about smelling the chicken. So, when you get a piece of like chicken fillet out of the fridge and you smell it, if you have to go back and smell it twice, chuck it out, right?
Yeah.
So you apply that to life.
Yeah.
Everything, a person, a job opportunity, just a situation with something in life. Women and young girls, we're told to kind of not trust that voice. Very early on, we're told not to trust our intuition, to doubt ourselves, to be not confident because maybe it's a masculine trait, or let the men decide. But my girls, I've got 2 daughters, they're 24 and 18. They've known from a very early age to listen to the first little voice that twinkles because she's right. She's absolutely right.
Yeah.
And my gut is always right. And the times I've gone against my gut, i.e. going back to breakfast radio in Sydney, my entire body screamed at me about that and I ignored it. It bit me in the arse.
Yeah, right.
So absolutely trust your gut.
Yeah.
I also have like my very best friend since I was 11, award-winning screenwriter, Mr. Michael Lucas. He killed Patrick on Offspring, in case you need context. He is my like backup gut. So have a backup gut if you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Preferably not one that killed Patrick on Offspring.
He's done other amazing
other better things.
I've got to stop calling him a murderer. He's like, can you stop? People boo him on the street when they see him.
Oh.
Truly. But he wrote The Newsreader, which was a huge success, and he's written on Rosehaven. Like, he's incredible. But we went to high school together, and he's my moral compass when I'm feeling a bit adrift.
We all need one of them.
Yes.
Absolutely. Now, menopause. You've spoken, very candidly about your experience. What has surprised you the most about this phase of life?
How all-consuming it is.
Yeah.
It's a full-time job. It really is.
Yeah.
But we're also expected to keep our other full-time job.
Yeah.
And parent our children. And be there for our aging boomer parents. Like, we're sandwich generation, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking around at other women going through this thinking, are you as bad as I am? Are you as upset as I am? Are you as exhausted? This feels so unfair. And then you want to try and get on top of it and you're told, eat 500 grams of protein a day. It's not that much, but it feels like that much. Go to the gym and lift weights. Change your diet and sleeping habits completely. Like, take all these hormones. Remember your patches. Remember your progesterone. Remember your testosterone. And it's like, I have no executive function now because the estrogen's left my brain and I'm ADHD. So looking after myself is also now another full-time job.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that we expect women to function as they were in the workplace. There should be workplace allowances made for us. It's just, I got here and I looked around and I was furious at how we've all just been told to suck it up for so long. I have no intention of sucking it up. And I want to make sure all the other women going through it don't feel that they have to either. This is not a normal phase. There's nothing normal about this. Cave women were dead before menopause. We live longer now.
Yeah.
But medicine and society hasn't caught up to help us make that last third high quality. Because if testosterone in men dropped off by 50% at 50, can you imagine? There'd be National Senate inquiries. You could plug into testosterone machines on a street corner. There would be medication everywhere and it would be free. So, the biggest thing was how big it is. I didn't know. I wish they had told me in high school. I would have understood my mum better because she didn't talk about it. They were forced to kind of just suffer in silence. But, yeah, that's the biggest thing. My daughters are now experts on this phase of life.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, if you could rewrite the menopause narrative for women coming up behind you or your daughters, what would you want it to sound like?
I would want them to start preparing for what's to come, to start putting in support systems early, to start thinking about, if you want to go down the medication route, to educate yourself, to understand, the demonising of HRT, now MHT, was completely unnecessary. And a lot of people can go on it who don't know that they can because of one flawed study.
Yeah.
But it would be, here's what to expect. And I would hope that workplaces, by the time the next generation come through, have started making allowances for women going through this time of their life. And it's not just menopause. For me, perimenopause started in my late 30s. Now, if you had said to me in my 30s, I want to talk to you about menopause, I would have said, that's an old lady problem.
Yeah.
But for me, I now know 37, 38, it was starting. So we really need to get the next generation young and say, this is going to start happening for you in your late 30s, definitely in your early 40s. And here's what can help. Get a good plan with the doctors. Start thinking about, because hormone health is also mental health. Our mental health is so affected, yet they don't study it at all in psychology universities. None of the university courses address menopause as part of women's mental health.
Yeah.
There's not one unit of study done on it.
It's crazy.
Don't worry, I'm attacking it. I'm going on the government with this one. This is my new thing is getting psychiatrists and psychologists trained around hormone health.
Yeah.
Because you've got a 45-year-old woman coming in and saying, I'm anxious, I'm depressed, I've got insomnia. Don't put her on antidepressants. Check her bloody hormones. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That should be your first port of call.
Yeah, HRT could be what she needs.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, did you know when this started happening to you, did you know that it was perimenopause?
No, I had no idea. I went to my GP and it was the perimenopause made the ADHD symptoms worse, and I got diagnosed with ADHD because of what was going on for me with my hormones.
Yeah.
I had no idea, but I'm just lucky that I have a young, curious GP who then sent me on to an endocrinologist, because when they went and checked all my FSH levels, everything was kind of just out of whack. Because with perimenopause, it's very hard. There's no one test, and hormones are unreliable.
They're
because sometimes there is, but still worth tracking them if you can. But when you put it together with the frozen shoulder, the insomnia, the rage, the unexplained weight gain, and I haven't changed a thing. When you put all the symptoms together, and in my book, I've got like 4 pages of symptoms. I've made sure it was all there.
Yeah.
So you can turn up to your doctor. I even gave you a script because so many young women in their 40s are turned away and told they're too young, but they're not.
Yeah.
So, it's for me, I got lucky, but women's health shouldn't be a potluck situation.
No.
You should be believed and it should be investigated at the first appointment.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't have to be a detective and
it's like you're going to court.
Trailblazer.
Yeah, you got to turn up with, here are all the reasons I think I'm in perimenopause. Like it's like you have to prove how unwell you're feeling, where you should just be believed instantly.
Yeah, absolutely. So can you talk about your experience of menopause through the ADHD and neurodivergent lens? I mean, like many women, you got your diagnosis as an adult. And how did sort of understanding your neurodivergence kind of, I'm asking you about 20 questions in one. But
I love that.
How did that change?
I'm ADHD, throw them at me. See, that's the benefit of this. I could answer them all. Go.
Yeah. How did it change how you treat yourself? And
Yeah, it was interesting because I got the ADHD diagnosis before the perimenopause diagnosis.
Yeah.
And now it makes sense what was going on for me. And that's how we were kind of able to track when it started for me.
Yeah.
We now know through, and I interviewed a lot of scientists about this, we now know that neurodivergent women experience perimenopause symptoms much harder than their neurotypical counterparts.
Yeah.
So they will know, we are very sensitive to hormone fluctuations and brain chemistry changes. So we're going to be feeling that. And usually a lot of us have gone through PMDD as well, so PMT. So it's that for me, I just was so up and down, and I could really notice that, and I couldn't control it. And I said to my doctor, "This is hitting me so hard. It's horrible. Like I can just feel the tick over of when hormones are up and down and my period phases became really pronounced, and understanding that because I'm neurodivergent and even just the slightest change in hormones is going to set off a lot of symptoms. But the brain fog especially, I genuinely thought I had early onset dementia. It was crazy. It was like someone's just blanking my memory every 10 minutes.
Right, yep.
And being neurodivergent, my executive function isn't great. It's not one of my strong points as an ADHDer. So you throw on top the perimenopause symptom of brain fog with the lack of estrogen, because estrogen is a brain protectant. And I was really scared sometimes because, I'm a bit of a I'll just get it done, fast mover, and I'll just remember things. The biggest lie I always tell myself is I'll remember. And I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was genuinely forgetting important things that I probably just committed to, the day before.
Yeah.
And looking at people with a blank stare did I? And the amount of rooms I walk into and I'm like, why am I here? Yeah. It really was debilitating.
Yeah.
It was horrible. And again, I was looking around at everyone else going, same? And what I found was when I did start talking about it publicly, inundated.
Yeah, same.
It's like, why are we not?
Yeah.
Why isn't there a menopause Me Too movement? Why aren't we all collectively getting together and saying, oh my God, my life is really, really worse off at the moment, me too.
Yeah.
I think it would be so powerful. You gather all those women over 40 to share the experiences. Yeah, it's been, I just can't believe everybody's gotten on with it as well as they have. Or they haven't, obviously, but enough.
Struggled behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
we don't have to carry this anymore.
Yeah.
That's enough.
I saw that really powerful Instagram post that he had recently of just listening to some of those women's stories and just, so many people saying, I'm just an absolute mess. I just,
I'm broken.
Yeah.
I'm a shell of a human. And it was really sad because all these women felt like they were failing at being an adult in a world that is not set up to support them in their phase of life. It's not their fault. It's biology. This isn't a choice. None of us would choose this.
No.
We're not choosing to go to work and be angry and, not want to talk to our co-workers, but it's hot and there's bright lights and our uniform perhaps hasn't been thought about for us, and maybe we've got unexpected periods happening, and then, of course, we're going to come across as difficult and a diva, and it's this snowball effect of women being made to feel shame, just stacked upon shame. And then also there's the whole thing around if you're in menopause and you're aging and women aren't allowed to age.
Yep.
Especially in my industry, there's not a lot of people talking about perimenopause and menopause because, what if someone thinks we're too old to be hired for something because the patriarchy is still running, the male gaze. And when I talk about the patriarchy, this isn't me saying bad men. We need men in on this conversation so desperately. We need partners and bosses and CEOs. But the patriarchy was a system set up to only benefit straight, white, non-disabled, middle-aged men. And if you're not that, the system's not going to be serving you very well.
Yeah.
So, and it's not serving those men either. It's just I'm trying so hard to get the men involved in this menopause conversation because it's affecting their lives. Don't worry. I see the scared husbands in my stand-up audiences. And I'll mention, does the way you choose suddenly annoy your wife? And I see their faces register. And I'm like, you, sir, I need to help you understand this. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that one hit close to home.
I got to the point with Scott, my ex-husband, where I was like, do you need to breathe quite so loudly? It's like, I need to breathe. I said, well, not near me. You're making a whistling noise in your nostril. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So how do you take care of yourself?
Oh, God, I try. I don't. Okay.
Or how do you try to take care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, the works?
The biggest game changer was getting strong. And we don't tell women this message enough. Also, we were raised by boomers where it was all about being thin.
Skinny, yes.
Skinny. If you've got a boomer mum, she's obsessed with weight. Don't worry, she'll bring it up 50 times a day. It's how they'll describe people. And we were also looking at Kate Moss as our ideal body weight. We grew up with the heroin chic look.
Yeah.
So I found out that I was I had osteopenia, which is the precursor to osteoporosis. 1 in 2 women over 50 will break a bone because of osteoporosis, right? We're not told this. We're not told that it starts in your 40s. And because I didn't have enough estrogen, it was leaching from my bones and my bone density was in real strife.
Right.
So my endocrinologist said to me, and she scared the crap out of me, you need to go to the gym and get really strong because you don't want falling to be fatal in your
Which
late.
it so commonly is, yeah.
And I said, what do you mean? She explained it all to me. So building muscle around my bones to support my bones has become, I'm 2 years since I started, getting really fit. I'm the strongest I've ever been. It gave me a sense of power and control that I've never had before. And I was an athlete. I was a high-level athlete, but then life happened and I stopped, training and looking after myself. But I'm on the bandwagon of telling every woman I can look in the eye and say, get strong. And just start at home. Gyms can be intimidating.
Yep.
But the training, I move my body in some way every day. It's so important. My relationship with alcohol has really changed.
Yeah.
I had to stop drinking. I still have a drink every now and then, but I just was not recovering like I used to. But also it was making me really sad. Even just one. That made a big difference. But the biggest difference, and if you take nothing else away from this, if you are listening now, is prioritizing your self-care and protecting that time like it's the most important thing. Fiercely protect your time to, if it's meditate, if it's go for a walk, if it's go to the gym, if it's go for a swim, make your meal first, make sure you're getting good food, make sure you're getting enough protein. Just put yourself first. And I know we talk about this and, put on the oxygen mask first, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But if I wasn't doing all that I'm doing to look after myself, and I'm doing a lot, I would not be able to show up as the mother I want to be, as the boss I want to be, as the public figure I want to be.
Yeah.
And it's not sold enough to women. We're made to feel like we have to martyr ourselves. It's selfish to put ourselves first. But every single expert I spoke to when I was interviewing them, every single one of them said their biggest battle is convincing women to actually put that into place. To actually, like we all say it and talk about it, self-care, blah, blah, blah. But not a lot of women are really encouraged to actually do that without being made to feel very bad about themselves.
Yeah.
So I give you permission to be selfish, and it's not. It's self-preservation.
Yeah.
It's doing so. I get up, I exercise first, I eat first, I do all the things. And I say to my family also, tell your family you're struggling.
Yeah.
Tell your family what's going on for you.
Yeah.
Remove the shame, and also it will help them understand why you are slamming cupboards a bit louder than normal.
Yeah.
Why you can't put up with certain things you used to. But the biggest thing, is put yourself first, because that's the only way you're going to survive this absolute shit show is if you put yourself first.
Yeah. And hopefully it will encourage them to be more independent and do the things that they probably should have been doing all along. And we just did it
sister.
for
Correct.
Now, you played a huge role in the 2023 ADHD Senate inquiry and recently addressed the National Press Club. I mean, amazing. How did it feel to take your very personal experiences into such a public and political space?
Yeah, it's interesting. For someone who tells gags for a living, I keep ending up in Parliament House, and I don't know if that's the best place for me. I also spoke at New South Wales Government House last week talking about perimenopause and menopause in the workplace, and really got into it with the Health Minister. He took it very well. He followed me on Instagram afterwards.
Awesome.
But I think I realised I had the privilege of getting these topics into spaces they don't normally get into, and I couldn't let that go. I just couldn't. With all good conscience, what I do, especially with the National Press Club address, initially I said no a couple of times, and that's in the book. The speech is in the book also, because I felt like I'm a very unserious person, and that's a very serious space, like Gough Whitlam, Julia Gillard, the greats.
Yeah.
And I realised that it wasn't about me. It was about giving a platform to neurodivergence that it wouldn't normally get, to make the world a better place for my autistic son and other kids like him. So it's really a privilege, and one that I'm grateful to have, and one I don't take lightly. And I don't water it down on myself in those spaces, and I think that's why it cuts through, because there's no crap. I do try to make it entertaining in parts. I really educate myself. I make sure I come in really knowledgeable on the topics just in case somebody does press me on it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I have casual sides. So it's kind of a bit like Velvet Sledgehammer, Trojan Horse, like I'll walk in and they're like, oh, this will be fun. And then all of a sudden I'm just in.
Yeah.
But then I'm light again.
Yeah, lull them into a false sense of
absolutely.
security.
Yeah. But, we're still waiting for the Senate inquiry recommendations to be acted upon. TikTok.
Right,
There's
right.
a lot of talk.
That was my next question.
Yeah, nothing's changed. This happens a lot. And when someone says, oh, we're going to put an inquiry in, I'm always like, oh, God, great. Can you just make the changes?
Yeah, yeah.
And I said to them when I presented and I spoke in front of them, I said, you asked the ADHD community to do the hard thing. You made us go and fill out forms and do admin, and these are all things that we expressly can't do. It was a bit ableist, actually. So we need you now to do the hard thing and put funding into putting supports in for neurodivergent people. And we did the same thing with, the menopause inquiry, which I wasn't a part of, but I'm now kind of getting in to be a part of getting changes made in the workplaces. And I enjoy it and I want to do it. I don't want to be a politician. I keep getting asked. I couldn't think of anything worse. I think when you become a politician, your power actually lessens.
You don't want to evolve that much.
No, you don't want to please everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I take it, I'm an accidental advocate, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And finally, if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice about midlife, motherhood or menopause, what would it be? We don't have to narrow it down to one.
No, look, I would go back to younger me and say to her, who you are is exactly right, and it's the systems around you failing, not you.
Yeah.
I was made to feel from a very young age like I was failing. And I was really good at hard stuff, but not very good at the easy things, and I thought that meant I was bad at everything.
Yeah.
So I would tell her, you're extraordinary, and it's the things around you that are at fault.
Yeah, yeah.
And in terms of motherhood and perimenopause and menopause, like what I said, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Because no one else will. And people will take and take and take. Like I've always joked, I'll be in my coffin at my funeral and one of my children will lean over and ask me where the washing powder is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they just... You have to become your own best friend. And I wish I'd known at 20 to build a safe space for myself within myself.
Yeah.
That's the big one. And my girls know that. It's you need to be kind to yourself, be your own friend, have a clean, healthy space inside your brain and body that you can retreat to when the world gets too much.
Yeah.
So you work on yourself, you do the therapy, you exercise, you move your body in some way. You be in service to other people. You do all the things so that when everything gets really awful, and let's be honest, the state of the world is hard at the moment. The news cycle is grim. So if you can build something that you can retreat to when you need to, that's the whole message of the self-care and self-looking after yourself. I think that would have saved me a lot of heartache if someone had sat me down at 20 and said, right, get yourself right now because there is a war coming on your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel you are right now? Like, how do you feel like you're coping with everything? And you can put everything, you can put everything in place, but it doesn't mean suddenly that it'll be easy. Or
I think I'm good. I think, all things considered, I've had a lot going on, but I feel this weird sense of clarity and strength that I've never felt before. And this book is something I'm so proud of, and it cracked me open. And now that she's finally out and on shelves, I know that it's Blood, Sweat and Glitter is going to do all the things that it needs to do. I'm okay. And it's a day-by-day basis. But overall, I have an incredible community around me, the people that listen to me and come to my shows. And, I couldn't ask for a stronger, better community than what I have. And I'm okay.
Oh, it's good to hear. Well, look, sadly, we've run out of time, but thank you so much for sharing so much with us today, Em.
Thanks for having me. It's been really great.
Yeah. If you haven't already, grab a copy of her new book, Blood, Sweat and Glitter, as I'm sure you can guess after having this conversation. It's hilarious, it's heartfelt, and it is absolutely guaranteed to make you feel seen. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you follow Thriving in Menopause wherever you get your podcasts and share with a friend. And of course, be sure to pick up the latest copy of Prevention magazine. That's it for this series, so I'll see you again in 2026. I'm Zoe Meunier. Until then, keep thriving or surviving or whatever.
Whatever.
Thanks. Bye.